talked about this a little bit, man, but we were just, off mic kind of talking about something very similar, but Avengers Doomsday and Doom Messiah, do you think one of them is going to blink?
I've been hearing rumblings that Marvel is going to blink, that they're going to move a Doomsday closer to us by, I think, 2 weeks.
So they can get into IMAX for 2 weeks?
Possibly, or if anything, just create a little bit of separation between another blockbuster. I'm sure like Marvel wanted to stay away particularly from any other superhero movie, which would be like, DC release, specifically Supergirl, they probably want to avoid. And also they want to avoid, I'm sure, Odyssey and Dune. Like those are probably the three things they wanted to stay away from.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like it's a lose-lose situation if Doomsday and Messiah come out on the same day.
Mm-hmm. For both of them, it's lose-lose.
Yeah, I mean, really, because this is not counter-programming like Barbenheimer, or what was the other one that happened not too long ago?
There was another one?
Yeah,
Barbenheimer was big.
Yeah, Barbenheimer was huge, but there was another one that happened last year, and I can't remember what it was, but it was hilarious. It was like 2 movies like that came out on separate days or same day. But with this one, I think you have a very, I don't think that Venn diagram is a circle, but it's pretty damn close. Mm-hmm. I think that, obviously that there's an audience for Doomsday that Dune is too serious for, and then maybe there's probably an audience for Dune that Doomsday is too gimmicky for.
Yeah.
But I think that's the fringes, right? I think, your core demo wants to see both of those things. And it's an even bigger L for Marvel if they release on the same day as Dune Messiah, because Dune has a 3-week IMAX booking.
Yeah.
Which means that they're going to lose all those premium ticket sales. Now, some of the smaller, other theater chains like the GTX, the Dolby theaters, things like that, they can wrap those up. But I mean, a lot of those, they might show Doomsday in those, but you're eating into ticket sales all the way around. I mean, for the industry, right? And I think if they move Doomsday up to like maybe early December, that's going to create a lot of space between Doomsday and Messiah, and really just work out for everybody, for the theaters, the studios, everything.
Are you the type of person who can, if you weren't a podcaster, could you go see Avengers Doomsday and then immediately go into the next theater and see Messiah?
Sure, yeah.
I don't think I could do that. No matter how excited I am for any two movies, I feel like I need at least a 12-hour buffer before I go see. Because, like, especially if I'm really hyped for both movies, because then I'm just overstimulated.
Right. Well, so I think the reason I could do it with these two is because of how not only how different they are, like genre-wise, but how differently my expectations are for them. And I'm not saying that I don't expect one of them, but like with Doomsday, let's be honest, we know a lot of little small things.
Yeah.
And a fuck ton of rumors. But what we actually know is very little to nothing.
Right.
Whereas with Dune Messiah, I know that it's going to be very faithfully adapting the best Dune novel. Which the homie Lauren is actually reading right now. And pretty early on, she was just like, she was messaging me about it. Shout out to Lauren, by the way.
What up?
And she made, did you have any of those mac and cheese cones that she made at my birthday?
I did. I had the last one.
Was that not just...
That was amazing.
She was off the chain.
Yeah. She did the damn thing.
Yeah, the Isle of Burke in Epic Universe, they actually make those, and she replicated it. And I think hers were just as good, if not better, than what they sell. But anyway.
That's insane. And they're probably a whole lot cheaper.
Yeah, I didn't have to pay $12 for this one. But I digress. So I'm watching, she's reading Dune Messiah, and she's like, I just can't not get into Frank Herbert's writing style. And I was like, well, I mean, for one, this book's like 100 years old at this point, for one. I mean, Star Wars, like George Lucas was heavily influenced by.
Right.
These movies are old. They're not quite 100, but they're old. Mm-hmm. They're not quite like Lord of the Rings is old, but they were very progressive for when they came out, which I believe was like 50s, 60s.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But she was like, the writing style is just so dry. And I was like, well, that's very common, for the time period.
Is that a pun? Because,
yeah, there's no water. Yeah. And I said the thing about it is the writing is very dry, but the substance is on point. So you just got to keep going. And eventually she was like, yeah, I see what you mean. Like the ideas and stuff in this book and like the symbolism and everything is like incredible. I really think that the movie is going to shock a lot of people that don't understand Dune. Like I think there's maybe I'm going to estimate 40 to 60% of the audience doesn't understand. Like I think a large chunk of the movie audience thinks that Paul is the hero.
Okay, so you have read some of the books, right? At least the books that contain this trilogy.
Yeah, I've so the movies will encompass the first 2 books.
Okay.
The 3 movies will.
Okay.
I have unfortunately read one more book past that they shouldn't do.
So you know a lot more about this lore and this source material than the average moviegoer who wants to see a Denis Villeneuve film.
Correct, yeah. And I'm both,
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Now, the reason I bring that up is because the way that these movies are framed with Paul being for all intents and purposes, the lead protagonist, I mean, you can understand why he would be viewed as, the guy.
Yeah, 100%.
As a matter of fact, I'm even going to go back and rewatch 1 and 2 before 3 drops, just so I can refamiliarize myself and get a better understanding. I guess the first time that I saw these Dune movies, I was in the theater.
Yes,
and then just kind of taking it all in, the visual spectacle of it all, and just kind of the whole thing is just unfolding. So watching it again, I'd be able to more focus on like what's really going on here. But,
did we review either one of these? Did we review the second one?
Yeah, we did both of them.
Okay, I thought we did. Yeah, that's right, we did. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you.
And 84.
Yes, unfortunately. I'll tell you what, though. You really should just carve out like 5-6 hours and watch them together.
I think I might.
It's a great experience watching them together.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I think Denis Villeneuve, I think he really, like, so when the first book came out, right, everybody read it, and a large portion of the audience was like, yeah, Paul Atreides is the hero. Much the way the 84 movie is, where he's just like, I'm doing the thing.
Yeah.
I am, token Great White Hope.
Right.
Here I am, coming to imperialize the galaxy near you, a galaxy near you. And Frank Herbert was like, I didn't write this. He's like, I guess to him, he thought it was very obvious that Paul deciding, I don't see any other way, like Paul seeing like the universe on fire as a result of his actions, but he went, well, I really can't see another way, so fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway, and like that would make him villainous, But a large portion of the audience didn't see that, and so he wrote Dune Messiah as like a no, fuck you, I will make it very clear to you what I was trying to say here.
An exclamation point.
Correct. Yeah. And I think it's the best book it's the best of the ones I've read. But I have talked to people that have read all like the ones that like that his son wrote, and I want to say it was the internet's gonna massacre me for not knowing the other guy that wrote, because it's a famous guy. I think it's Anderson. Anyway, they're gonna be very upset with this, but. Yeah, I know people that have read all of those, and pretty much all of them say that Messiah is the best one. So,
okay, I mean, so that has me a little excited. I guess one more thing about Dune that I wanted to talk about was you mentioned how Herbert's writing style was can be considered a little bit dry, but the substance of it is so good that it really keeps it pushing.
Yeah, and parts of it are problematic. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
for sure.
He definitely was not in any way shy about the aspects of Arab culture that he adapted. I mean, he even calls those crusades across the stars a jihad.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't subtle.
Right. It seems like the reason why Denis Villeneuve was maybe such a good choice as a director is because everything he does has style.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen. I don't know if I've seen all of his films, but I've seen a lot of his films, and all of them have tension and style.
Yeah.
Like if nothing else, they all have those two ingredients in abundance.
Well, he got Greg Fraser, who is the best cinematographer in the game right now.
Phenomenal.
Other than the two that work under Nolan.
Yep.
You know. And even then, I would say that, like, obviously, like, Greg Fraser won the Oscar for this. So, you know, he might be the GOAT, you know.
Yeah.
But
shout out to also the Sinners right quick.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's the one he just recently won. Did he win cinematography for that?
No, it was the first woman.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was like, I didn't know he worked on that, but yes. First female to ever win that award. Yeah. I think Greg Fraser won it for Dune 1.
Yeah, I think so.
Or 2, or maybe both, but
possibly
it could have been. But yeah, he did amazing work on that, on the Batman. I mean, he's just got a huge body of work. But Denis Villeneuve working with him, I mean, these are shot so beautifully. The sound design is some of the best ever. I mean, that's why I recommend, if you're going to go see Dune, go see it in the nicest theater that you can, because the sound is such an important part of this. The way that the sound mix is done. And I really love that too, because unlike a movie we reviewed recently, Batman vs. Superman, the movie has the loud, booming, you know, you're completely covered in the sound, but the sound mix is such that the dialogue is still audible and you can make out what they're fucking talking about. And I really enjoy that about those movies, about how, you know, that they can, the dialogue is so well written and so important that you can't sacrifice it for the sandworm has to shake your seat that you're in, you know, and you get both. And I really appreciate that. So, you know, to answer the original question though, Doomsday and Dune are two different, you know, there's just two different things to me. I'm hyped to see Messiah as an adaptation of a novel, and I'm hyped to find out what the MCU is doing with Doomsday.
Yeah. My biggest fear is that the MCU is also hyped to figure out what what Doomsday is.
Yeah, I saw a meme today because they announced that Secret Wars begins filming in June.
Oh, okay.
And somebody was like, yeah, and they're going to start the script in December.
I just imagine they're like, okay, all right, guys, that's a wrap on Doomsday. Real quick, while everyone's still in costume, just do some stuff in front of the camera and say some snarky lines. We're gonna get some footage here. But one more thing, really quick. Denis Villeneuve, I don't know if you know this or not, but apparently, either his next movie or the one after that is Bond.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
They're bringing him in. They haven't cast Bond yet, right?
They have not.
You got any picks for that?
I mean, I'd probably be free around that time. Yeah, that's about it.
Got it. Yeah. I mean,
besides me, who else would you go for, though?
I mean, Idris Elba would have been my choice, but he's a little old.
Yeah.
Now, I really think that, like, you know, as soon as Daniel Craig was done, they really should have jumped on that.
Yeah, they should have.
I hope they don't get Taron Egerton. I want him to be Wolverine, so I don't want him tied up in that.
Man. Yeah, because whoever gets the Bond role, you have to assume they're going to get this for several films.
Yeah, I mean, you're at least doing 3.
Yeah. So I think I don't quote me on this, but I think I heard rumblings that Jacob Elordi was in the running for.
I did hear that. I wouldn't be mad at it. Yeah,
he would be the tallest Bond, I feel.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, they do so good with the camera angles. They make Daniel Craig look like he's, you know, but he's not a short guy.
He's not big either, though.
Yeah,
not tall at least. Yeah. But man, who else? There's a few.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, with Bond, they kind of have a wide age range they can go with.
Yeah.
They could go for a younger Bond. They could go for like a middle-aged Bond if they want to.
You know, they got the James Bond game coming out next month.
Right.
And that is focused on a much younger Bond. I think it's about how he becomes 007. Like, he's an agent, but then he gets the title of 007, I think, throughout the course of this game or something like that. I mean, and that may... I'm not saying that may influence people, but like that may be a thing where if that's well received and people are really drawn to it, I can definitely see them wanting to have that kind of approach.
Yeah. Yeah, I can certainly see it. I mean, they're getting to the point where they've kind of got to make a decision. You know, they've got to, they need to cast somebody that they're going to stick with. I think, you know, for the Bond franchise, you know, I really loved Daniel Craig.
Me too.
But
he's my favorite.
It took them a long time to come out with those films.
Yeah, Casino Royale was in 2006, and the last one, No Time to Die.
Yeah,
that was, what was that, 2021?
Yeah,
you know, and I think we're talking about 5, maybe 6 movies.
Yeah,
within that time frame. That's a long time.
Yeah,
you know, so it's a commitment.
It really is. Yeah. I mean. I think a younger actor is probably the way to go. I mean, Jacob Elordi is not a bad call for that. I'll be honest, I kind of would rather see like a person of color get the role.
That'd be fun.
To be honest, I mean, John Boyega would not be a bad choice if they're going to do that. I would. I mean,
like if I'm busy or something.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Somebody actually. John Boyega came up the other day. Somebody asked me who I thought should play, was it Blue Marvel?
Ooh, yeah.
And I was like, well, John Boyega would be my number 1 pick, but he fucking hates Disney, so.
Damn.
So I don't think that they're going to be calling him. There's some bad blood there, I think.
Yeah. Maybe there is. Is this bad blood with all of Disney or just with Lucasfilm per se, or?
I don't know. We should have asked him when we saw him.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I don't know. Maybe it's just between him and Kathleen Kennedy. You know, and
she's gone.
And she's gone. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Idris Elba. You mentioned him earlier. He would be a really good Blue Marvel. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Blue Marvel, I think, would be a tremendous movie, especially if it's done correctly. Not to definitely dovetail into like a Blue Marvel, episode. But man, done correctly, I think it would be one of the biggest, most unique, and one of the most, I think, really kind of heart-wrenching and heartwarming stories that Marvel's told in a long time. If they pulled it off correctly, if they do it wrong, it can look like a black capitalist movie. Like that's a narrow needle to thread with Blue Marvel. So you gotta be careful with that because he gets his powers in like the 60s,
Yeah.
And like a black man in the 60s, and he even covers himself up so he's not seen. So like if you look at it from a certain angle, it's like, is he representing black people or is he just appeasing the white people?
Right.
So you really have to tell that story carefully.
I don't see Marvel addressing that shit.
Yeah, I know, me either.
Yeah.
Which is probably why they haven't
made it.
Yeah.
They're saving that for Phase 8.
They're like, look, guys, if we make it to Phase 9,
yeah, they're gonna do House of M, and all the mutants will get killed, and they're gonna be like, well, fuck, we got left. And they're gonna be like, well, what about Blue Marvel? And then they're gonna gaslight us like Blue Marvel's been around the whole time,
Right.
Be like, oh yeah, what about Blue Marvel? Everybody's gonna be like, what?
They're gonna insert scenes into Endgame that definitely was never there.
Yeah. He's flying behind Spider-Man when he has the glove,
right.
and yeah.
Oh shit. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, when was it Ant-Man is He's like trying to lift the stuff off of was it Hawkeye or whatever, and then like the camera pans and Blue Marvel's like helping him. Yeah. He's like, "Don't worry, guys."
Shit.
He's got like the Avengers logo on his.
You know what's hilarious about that? There's a mutant called Forget Me Not.
Yep.
And his power, if you want to call it that, this isn't the power. This is a mutant ability. His mutant ability is whenever he walks away or like whenever he stops talking, people forget about him, and like no one sees him. And so like his only rapport that he has is with Professor X because Professor X's fucking great powers.
He can just remember him.
Yeah.
You can just slot him in the database.
Yeah. But I thought that was a hilarious concept.
That's some what was it, the boys, I can never think of the name of the shorts that they did or whatever. Diabolical. Yeah. the Justin Roiland episode.
Right. I'm telling you, they're making these like these Disney Marvel specials or whatever. Forget Me Not would be hilarious.
It really would, yeah.
All right, you ready to get into the damn thing?
Yeah, man. We're gonna go to a very different corner of Marvel Disney and talk about this week's episode of Daredevil Born Again.
But of course, proper introductions are in order. So with that being said, homies, one and all, welcome back to another very special episode of the Superhero Homies Podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I am here once again with the world's greatest co-host, the homie Caleb.
That's right. I am, in fact, known as the world's greatest co-host, and I am here. I'm ready to go. It has been an interesting time. I got a lot of cool things coming up. As a matter of fact, we're going to be getting ready to go to JordanCon about this time next week.
Man, how hyped are you for that?
I'm tremendously hyped. I'm probably more hyped for the people that I'm going with to get to kind of experience some of these things that I have got to experience myself. And also, myself and the homie K are very excited to go to see Brandon Sanderson things without having to fly to Utah to do it. So we're very happy about that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And what's the name of that convention again? The one that you went to in Utah?
That's Dragonsteel Nexus.
Dragonsteel Nexus.
That is Brandon's convention.
Yes.
So he is the entire show there. This is actually a much smaller con. Mm-hmm. Even then, his signings didn't even last 1 minute. They were, sold out instantly. Like you refresh the page, they were there. You refresh the page again, they're sold out. I mean, it was just instant.
Yeah.
But everybody that I'm going with got some form or another of ability to get some stuff signed by him or meet him. The homies Dylan and Kay both actually got like the in-person like meet and greet where you get to spend some time with him.
Yeah.
So,
and that's phenomenal.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for that. The homie Dylan is going to be cosplaying a Steel Inquisitor.
Yeah.
It's really in-depth cosplay. Oz has got a Bridge 4 outfit going. We have our Mistborn stuff that we did at DragonCon. We're going to be bringing that back. So if anybody happens to be watching this, you're going to be in the Atlanta area for DragonCon, or well, that too. But if you're going to be in the Atlanta area for JordanCon, hit us up. And also DragonCon, because we will also be there.
Yeah, we'll be there too. Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to wait a little while for that one.
Yeah, and there may be more alcohol involved in that one.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Very likely.
Well, that being said, episode 4 of Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is called Gloves Off. And by the way, full spoilers for this episode and for the entirety of Daredevil everything.
Yeah.
Caleb, what do you think of this episode, man?
We talked a lot last week about how, all of the advanced reviews said episode 3 is where it really picks up.
Mm-hmm.
And, we got that really big, awesome action sequence at the end of episode 3 that we didn't think we were going to get. And, watching that, I'm like, well, I guess next week we're going to find out if they meant that episode 3 is like the first time they got hyped, or if like the whole season ramps from there, which is what I was really hoping. And judging by this episode, man, I think that it was the latter. I think, there's definitely an escalation here from last week. We're starting to see where it's no longer, Matt and Karen running around in the shadows. Like, they have a lot of allies.
Yep.
And it's really become a very intense game of chess at this point. It's two grandmasters playing. You have Matt on one side, you have Fisk on the other. And then, unlike in chess, you also just have freaking Poindexter running around just knocking pieces over. You know, so you're like trying to play with like an angry kitten, you know, in the room. And yeah, man, it definitely feels like episode 3 was a big step up from 1 and 2, and 4 feels like another step up from 3. So if they can keep that momentum through the rest of the season, that will be something.
Mm-hmm. I saw a brief snippet from an interview with Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, and they were asked what's their favorite moment or episode from this season, and they both said, I believe it was the penultimate and finale, like without hesitation. So I'm looking forward to getting there, and if this thing keeps escalating like this, I can't imagine what it looks like by then.
Well, I was reading that they plan to end the Mayor Fisk arc in this season.
Yeah.
And it feels like next season is going to be more of a fallout from that. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I'm not going to consider this a crazy spoiler at this point because the cat's out of the bag, but we are confirmed to get the Defenders all together next season. Yep. It's basically, that's just out there now. So, yeah, we know we're getting a Defenders reunion for season 3. So, it seems like if they're going to end the Mayor Fisk arc this season, we are going to see this escalate. And by the way this episode ends, we are going to see some escalation. But, you know, with Mayor Fisk no longer being a thing, obviously Fisk will be in it in some capacity. We've seen before where he's got an arc where he's in jail or whatever, or out of commission or however they want to do it. But some new threat is going to have to emerge that's going to require the Defenders.
Yeah. And not to hop way ahead, but what do you think that could possibly be?
I really hope it's not the Hand. Because that's just going to feel like we're just going in circles.
Season 1, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to feel like we're just going back. Like, you know, it's going to feel as if the only material that they have is Fisk and the Hand. And they just are going to
rotate.
Just rotate, you know. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's kind of how the first 3 seasons were, you know. It's like season 1, Fisk was working with the Hand, but Fisk was the major threat. They put Fisk in jail, so season 2, Fisk is in jail, and now the Hand is the big threat.
Yeah.
They defeat the Hand in Defenders, and now in season 3, Fisk is back on top. So it's just kind of like, you know, at what point, you know, do we kind of break that cycle? I mean, last season we got Muse, which was really nice, and I would love to see them do a little more.
Yeah, well, I mean, to the Netflix show's defense, like it wasn't like it was just, you know, Fisk, Hand, rinse, repeat. Like along the way, there was the Punisher who took the first half of season 2.
That's true.
And I mean, like, I know you didn't care for Elektra that much, but she was, even though she's tied to the Hand, you know, she was a pretty pivotal part as well. And then you had Bullseye for season 3. You know, so there were other elements that were tied into it. Like, you can say the orchestrators or the big players are always Fisk with a Hand, but I mean that could even be said for Born Again season 1.
That's true. Yeah.
But I thought this episode was pretty tremendous.
Yeah. From the moment that we get Dex in the diner until the very end, which, you know, we see him try to carry out his plan, and he gets a Fisk. It's not the one he was after. Holy shit, man!
Yeah,
you know, this thing just ramps, and we also see the army coming together. You know, at the end of season 1, you know, we saw Matt say that he needs an army, and the way that this season started out, it's like, dang man, well you need to be doing better because you got like 4 people. And you got like Kirsten, but she don't even know who you are. So
right, and she really technically doesn't even want to be on like that side.
Yeah.
So, this episode started off very intriguing. We see Tony cooking breakfast.
Yeah,
and you know he's a psychopath because he cooks 1 egg for himself.
Correct. He put a fuck ton of oil in that pan.
So much oil, dog.
Yeah, I was like, please tell me I'm not the only person who realizes that that's an insane amount of oil for 1 egg.
Crazy amount of oil for that pan and that 1 egg.
If I was going to put what do you think the max of that pan is? Like 4 eggs tops?
Oh, it was a small pan. I'd say 2, maybe 3 tops.
Okay, let's just say I'm going to cook 3 eggs in that pan. I'm still not putting near that much oil in there.
No, it was a shit ton of oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, everything about the way he presents himself just reads psychopath.
Yeah. Which we know he is.
We know
we've seen the tapes.
Mm-hmm. But he's the type of guy who, like, if you lived across the street from him, first of all, good luck.
Yeah.
And secondly, you would look at Tony and say, he might be a psychopath.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody ever breaks in your house, they're probably fucked.
Oh, yeah.
But, because Tony's going to come across the hall with like 2 forks.
Right. You're like, why is he?
And that's one more than he needs.
Yeah.
You know?
So we see him cook one egg for breakfast. And he's got also a small glass of orange juice. We don't see him touch it, though.
Yeah.
But after he does his morning routine, he goes to a diner. And he sits down and he orders a milkshake. He's doing everything with this kind of performative, happy-go-lucky charm about him.
A banana milkshake.
Milkshake.
And he drank that shit quick.
It was hard to tell if he drank it quick or if they were doing just like a time lapse to show how long it took the force to get there. Because
it was one frame and then they panned away and then they came back and this shit was empty. Right. And you're like, dang, man. It must have been good as hell.
He did say it was a delicious milkshake.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, it flowed down quickly since his esophagus was so lubricated from all that oil.
From all that oil, yeah. Dog, like, having that much oil and chasing it with the milkshake, he's had to have the runs.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But while he's at the diner ordering this delicious banana milkshake with whipped cream, because doesn't everyone do it? He calls the cops. He calls 911, and he says that he has spotted Frank Castle, and I quote, "Oh no, he's got a gun."
Yeah, I love the tone that he's like, yes, 911. I would like. He sound like the Dave Chappelle white guy voice. Yeah. You know, he's like, yes, 911. I would like to report that Frank Castle is here in the diner at this address, whatever street. You know, because panicked victims in a hostage situation always can rile off the entire address calmly. And then, you know, and it looks like he has a gun. All right, we'll see you soon. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
You know, the 911 person got off the call and was like, someone right about that.
Yeah, something was not correct about this entire situation. So.
But when he does this, we immediately knew.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew what the play was, and we knew how this was going to turn out for the AVTF.
Yeah, like, how many task force guys do you have? Well, you have that minus however many you sent to this diner.
So, it looks like maybe 6 to 8 or 6 to 10 task members show up. And, I mean, they come in guns blazing. Oh, not guns blazing, but guns pointed. And they're telling everyone in the diner who's eating, enjoying their breakfast to stay in their place, put their hands up, blah, 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 blah. And they come across good old Dex here. And he's still just finishing off the remnants of his milkshake. And one of the task force members gets a good look at him and goes, holy shit, that's Bullseye. And that's the last thing he ever got to say.
Yeah, man, a couple of these guys got fucking tortured.
This was a tremendous display of his powers.
It really was incredible.
Did you see the knife that the one guy got in the jugular?
Yes.
That was so gross.
Yeah, and I don't think it killed him quickly.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awful. My favorite thing about, there's a few favorite moments in this scene, but one of my favorite moments about this scene where he is just dismantling this anti-vigilante task force.
The chill agents.
The chill agents. Is when you realize he's killing all of them with like knives and forks and toothpicks.
Yeah.
He's got a gun on him.
Doesn't need it.
Doesn't go for it. Why would he do that?
Yeah, when he picked up the toothpick, I was just like, oh, no. And then that one guy, I was like, not the eye. Got him right in the eye.
Right in the fucking eye. And then I have written down here, and I quote, he killed the man with a lobster.
He did.
I didn't know that was possible in that nature.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing that he could do.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he didn't, but he did it with confidence, and it worked.
I was worried for a second he was going to kill that dog.
See, the odds are never zero with Bullseye.
Yeah.
You know?
And then he's like, don't worry, I'm one of the good guys.
And why did that frighten me?
Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah, it was the most terrifying way anybody could ever say that to anyone.
Yeah.
He believes that shit.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah. And you know, we see it later, you know, not to jump ahead, but later on we see in the conversation with Matt, and he's like, no, I'm on your team. And you just see Matt is just flabbergasted. He's trying. I feel like it takes Matt a second to just remember how fucking psychotic this guy is.
Yeah.
And he's like, explain that shit to me. You know? And he's like, well, I'm going to kill Fisk. And Matt's like, no. And Matt's just like, God damn it.
Shit. It's got to be so hard being Daredevil, besides the blind thing. Like, the fact that, like, two of the people that you hate the most in the world, you can't kill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he really, I mean, just, I think if he could pick, he would probably be Dex, considering he actually did throw Dex off a building.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had just shot his best friend, though.
Yeah, that is very true.
At the time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, so emotions were high, you know. We've all thought about throwing people off buildings.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But we've never been in that position to do so. Matt was.
Yeah, he happened to be in a position right at that perfect moment of rage to toss a motherfucker off a building.
Yep. You know, there's that brief moment of respite and where he was like, okay, Foggy's heart is still beating, but it's slow. It stopped. And,
yeah, he's like, and that's it. Yeah. I'm about to stop another one. Dex was maybe as well done in this episode as any other episode.
Oh, I agree.
Period.
Yeah. This was a tremendous showing for him. And Wilson Bethel did a tremendous job once again.
It felt very much like it could have come right out of the season 3 of the Netflix show.
Yeah, it really did.
And I mean that as nothing but a compliment.
What do you think about his outfit?
I really like it.
Same.
It's like a hitman janitor.
That was the wrong moment to take a sip.
It really was.
A hitman janitor.
Hitmanator.
Hitman. It looks like his comic book outfit just toned down.
Yeah.
And I dig that. And I also dig the fact that, and this is just my headcanon, but the only reason he's wearing that is to look more like a vigilante.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I actually would love to see him in like the full comic book outfit.
Yeah.
Just as part of his I'm one of the good guys shit. Yeah. Like, look, I got an outfit.
Bro, what if he's in like Doomsday, you know, like I'm one of the good guys.
God. I don't know, man. I don't know if he's gonna be alive.
Well, yeah, I think for our episode 1 review, I made the mention that I don't think he's gonna make it out of this season.
Yeah, I don't think so either, man.
After this, I really don't think he's gonna make it out.
Because we know that Matt has to make it and Fisk has to make it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the deputy mayor is not going to live.
Yeah.
I don't think Buck is going to live.
I fucking hope not.
And he was badass in this episode, though.
He was.
We actually never really seen like what he could do until now, and it's like, oh shit, man, we were going to fuck with this guy,
right?
And then I think that Dex is also. I mean, if Vanessa is getting killed, then I mean, you know, it's all.
Yeah.
Anybody that's not Matt Murdock or Wilson Fisk can get killed.
1,000%.
Right. As a matter of fact, that little moment that they gave Matt and Karen,
that had me worried.
That shit had me worried. I was like, don't hug that motherfucker too tight.
Right. And then, was this the first time we heard them exchange I love yous?
Possibly, yeah.
That's never a good sign.
It's
man.
not. It's like Peter Parker, you know?
Yeah, that's like if Peter Parker, if you ever see him say, I'm having a really good day. Like, oh, no.
No. Yeah. Yeah, no.
Oh, man.
No, not at all.
So we see the Resistance getting video testimonies from people who are locked in those cages. And obviously, this is really good stuff. This is what they need to kind of put the word out on Fisk and to spread awareness. During the same scene, we see Jack Duquesne. He says his goodbyes to Matt, goes home, but he leaves like an open bank account, it sounds like. So that's nice. And then at the same time, Angela gets a mission. And we know that her mission is to deliver, it looks like it's the SD card with the testimonies on it, if I'm seeing it correctly.
Yeah, it's the SD card with the testimonies on it, and which we later see get slipped to BB.
Yep, we see that get slipped to BB later on. So, in a really kind of clever scene.
And yeah, I gotta say, I really like what's her name, the new White Tiger,
Angela.
Angela is crafty, man.
She is.
I think for like a kid actor, I think she's really good.
I agree.
And she's got the street smarts that I really, really like, and I love that they're showing that aspect. There's so many really cheesy, corny ways that they could show her, and like Disney knows all of them. Right. This is like the anti like young Leia. You know what I mean?
Oh no!
Like we could get a whole scene where she magically outruns 4 chill agents.
Exactly. Yeah, with ease, or one of them, captures her, and then she steps on the toe. And
you know, the same people that we see like beating the shit out of Matt. You know?
Come on. But at the end of this scene here, where we see the resistance and the testimonies and all that, we see the first mate of the Northern Star, Christophe. He shows up.
I actually said, "Holy shit!" when that happened.
Yeah,
out loud, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Because I was like, "Man, I was for sure that they was gonna find that dude on the bottom of the ocean with some like concrete tied to him." And they, they might now, but they never gonna find that dude. But important too, Jacques Duquesne.
Yes.
He basically is now he's not gonna stay and be a part of it, but he's basically funding their operation.
Yeah. Says that his account is open. I pray for the day that someone says that to me.
Right, yeah. Do you think that that we'll see Kate Bishop?
So we spoke about this a couple episodes ago, and it would be really cool to see it. My excuse, I said, for the possibility that we might see Kate Bishop is because she ain't got nothing else going on right now.
And also, that's her stepdad.
Yeah, that's her stepdad, yeah.
So...
I mean, it would make all the sense in the world for her to go looking for him. I mean, he's been trapped there for who knows how long exactly.
Not to mention, her mom was in bed with Fisk. I mean, not like physically, but like, figuratively, she was doing, dark money shit with Fisk.
Right. So, I mean, it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I would really like to see that. Listen, that Young Avengers movie or TV show, I don't even know if Disney remembers that they said they're going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Miss Marvel showed up and recruited her to the Young Avengers.
And right now it's just like a 2-person hangout.
Yeah. Well, I think they, is Marvel Zombies, it's not canon, right? It's like that's a Elseworlds thing.
Yeah, I think it's not really canon. But if it was, then, you could say, Riri's a part of it as well.
Right, yeah, that's what I was going with it. I actually really love the team of the 3 of them in that.
Yeah, that was cool for that.
And I actually thought that I had no interest in that show at all, but like the 3 of them as a team I actually really enjoyed.
Yeah, for all of 17 minutes and then,
Yeah.
So the current plan now for the team is Matt is going to go look for Bullseye while Karen is going to attempt to link up Christophe with Kirsten. The idea is that if they can get someone reputable and credible, such as a lawyer like Kirsten, to get the confession and testimony from Christophe about the Northern Star, I mean, that's money.
Right.
And so that is Karen's plan of attack, while again, Matt's plan is to get a hold of Bullseye before he falls for this goddamn trap that Fisk has planted.
And I think Karen is the only one who succeeds out of it.
Yeah.
Out of the 2.
If there were ever a case for like how women solve problems versus how men solve problems, this is
definitely it.
This is definitely it.
Although I will say that I love the scene here where Matt goes to the church that we saw Dex visit. I think it was episode 2. We saw him there.
Yep.
I actually really love this scene where he's like, I've taken vows, I can't turn him over to the cops. And he's like, well, what are you going to do? Also, the whole thing with Matt dressed as the Till agent is amazing.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Because, of course, they had the smuggled ATVF uniform. And Matt just, dresses up as one of those, goes into the diner and does the Batman investigation.
Yeah.
Finds the coin and feels the engraving on it. He knows what church it's from because that was his church.
Yeah. No coincidence there.
Yep.
Do we think that the father, when Matt was there, has passed away? I can't remember his name.
He's probably deceased. I was trying to think about maybe he died in season 3. But I don't think so.
I don't think so. They left the door open for his mom to return, though. They said she was on a pilgrimage or
something like that.
Whatever they call it.
Yeah. Investigation, something like that. But yeah, this whole not interrogation, but the investigation of Matt Murdock dressed up as the Chill agent was really fun. And like you mentioned, that church scene was also pretty cool too. That young clergyman giving Matt the information that he needs to ultimately determine where Bullseye is.
Yeah, I love how he's like, "Oh man, I couldn't possibly tell you where that came from or whatever." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "I think you can."
Yeah.
And then when he tells him like that. I love that, like how they framed it where he was like, yeah, he says he gets breakfast every day and watches me open the doors or whatever, which is, by the way, a creepy as fuck thing to say to someone.
Oh, yeah.
Matt's immediately like, oh, say less. Mm-hmm. And Matt's got you.
And then, like, I love that we're so far enough into this Daredevil TV series where we don't need anything else. The next thing we get is Matt in that apartment beating his ass.
Yeah. He's literally like, the next thing is like, he walks in, he's like, oh. And then Matt just starts whooping his ass. And I'm going to tell you, Dex usually holds his own, but like Matt is fucking him up here.
Yeah. And I think maybe it's a little bit of Dex holding back.
Yeah. He's not trying to kill Matt.
Yeah. He's not trying to actively kill Matt this time. It's a combination of that and I think Matt is like, I'm not overly emotional right now for the first time since we fought.
Yeah.
And I know your moves.
Yeah, Matt is like, has definitely been studying him.
Yeah.
Like, they fought enough times that, he knows, okay, well, if I hear something bounce off the wall over here, it's coming at me, so I got to catch it.
Right.
And you see him deflect and or catch a bunch of Bullseye's bullshit here.
Yeah.
And you actually find out that Bullseye isn't as good at it as Matt is because Matt hit him with that club a couple times.
He did. He called the Billy Club once.
He did, yeah.
He was like, hey, look at me. And then he got punched or something.
Yeah, that shit was great.
Bruh, there was one moment where the neighbor, she comes in.
I loved this.
And she's like, oh, what are you doing to my Tony? And all you see is Matt.
Matt doesn't even stop. He's just like, wow.
And then there's a vicious knee right up the center that he gives him. Like, Jesus Christ. God damn.
Matt's just like, lady, listen, if you knew who this was and what they're up to, you would be thanking me right now.
Right. And then Tony grabs the old lady, keeps her hostage, just so he can create some space.
While he explains to Matt that he's one of the good guys now, he doesn't have to beat him up.
And I love that Matt even breaks and just starts laughing. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Explain that to me. Why you have this old lady in a headlock at gunpoint. Please explain to me how, we're on the same side.
And Bullseye was like, oh, it's simple, man. I got you. I'm going to do the one thing that you won't do. I'm going to kill Fisk. And I love this line. Matt says, I can't let you make a martyr out of him.
Yes.
I love that line.
And that's the whole thing, right? It's like, if he gets assassinated,
yep.
And this is the same with, any other public figure that they may, draw a line to here. If they get assassinated, it's not going to be, history is not going to remember them accurately. If Fisk gets killed, especially by a vigilante,
it's going to prove his point.
Yeah, it's going to make his point, and whoever's after him, they're going to crack down on them even further. And Fisk is never going to get exposed for his crimes. So this really the worst case scenario would be for Bullseye to kill him here.
Absolutely, and then, like you said, they're going to crack down, and you think that the anti-vigilante task force is bad. Whoever they send after that would be even worse.
Yeah,
and when they catch Bullseye, it'll be hell, but when they catch him, they're going to be like, you see what kind of dangerous lunatics these vigilantes are?
And he's like the poster child.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fox News be playing that shit.
For sure. And Bullseye, he'd be on some shit like, I was working with the Daredevil, and we're dedicated to taking down Fisk.
Yeah. We were a team, and we had a plan.
Oh shit! But Bullseye, he does escape. I need a game that's like GTA style, but I get to play as Bullseye, and like whatever you ran by, random objects light up. You can just pick them up, and that's your weapon.
The guy on this motorcycle had to have died.
It's for the greater good, though.
Because Bullseye's just like, oh, I need a bike. Blip. I didn't even catch what he threw at him. Like
I think it was like a can. I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I think that dude's dead.
Yeah, I don't think Bullseye even looked at what it was.
Yeah.
That was great, though. So we get the scene where Angela, she goes to her friend at the food stand. She gives him the SD card, and which is a really cool scene. But that leads to Angela's friend dropping that off to BB while her and Daniel are about to go see the Fisk charity fight.
And they weren't quite that slick. Daniel called him.
Yeah. It was a smooth move, but I think you're right.
I don't know that Daniel necessarily knew that he put something in her pocket. I think Daniel maybe thought he might have like copped a feel or something.
Yeah. And that's the brilliant thing about Daniel. And again, Buck even mentioned this last episode, but it's hard to read Daniel sometimes because he comes off as a fucking moron, but he is smarter than what he looks.
Absolutely. He's going to be just smart enough to get himself fucking killed.
Yep.
He is not smart enough to realize that BB is playing him.
Bruh, yeah. And that's going to bite him in the ass so hard.
And not the way that he wants her to.
Absolutely not.
Because he thinks he's going to eventually get it in.
Yeah. But he ain't.
Yeah, he ain't. Like, the only getting it in he's going to do is going to be when Fisk crushes his skull.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when his eyeball will meet his teeth.
Yeah.
For sure. So, after this, we get the Fisk and Mike Matterhorn Mendez charity boxing match. And this part of this is intertwined with Buck killing Christophe.
Yeah.
Who was supposed to be escaping with who was it? Not Internal Affairs, but some other kind of federal agents.
Yeah. Marshals. U.S. Marshals.
U.S. Marshals.
Which, by the way, we didn't talk about the Mr. Charles scene.
Oh, we didn't. Yeah. I skipped over that. I skipped over a few things, actually.
Yeah, so the Mr. Charles scene earlier in the episode is where we actually found out that, like, Buck, they kind of alluded to his training before, but then we got to see it in action because as soon as he was like, oh, you can put your hands down, he was like, oh, okay. And then he just very quickly just headshots on both of those Mr. Charles's goons. I've got to ask you, though, after seeing this scene, we speculated kind of what Mr. Charles's role might be in all this and how powerful behind the scenes he was or wasn't. Has your opinion of him changed at all after this scene?
A little bit. He seems less in control than he thought he was, which takes away from his mystique a little bit. And if his mystique continues to diminish, then his kind of coy attitude doesn't have as much charm.
Yeah, it kind of feels like at this point he might just be like a high-level fixer for Madame Hydra.
Yeah. That's what it's coming across as. versus him being this kind of really elusive, mysterious, kind of super powerful person you don't want to fuck with.
And they could turn it around, you know.
They can. Yeah.
Like, they absolutely could have the next encounter with him showing Fisk, like, do not fuck with me.
Yeah.
My theory did get debunked in this episode. We found out that it was Fisk who issued the command to sink the ship if Daredevil came on. So that did debunk one of my theories.
Yeah. But Mr. Charles, he still does talk more about his employer.
Yeah.
Enough so that we are reminded that, okay, he has a really big and powerful employer, but not enough details that we get any more real solid information about who it could be.
Yeah. We know that it's global, though.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. It does lead into one of your other theories about what if he works for the Hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
But no, this was a good scene, though. Especially for Buck. And I even had written down here that Kingpin leaves with the upper hand. And Mr. Charles is like, oh, shit. He is somebody because Fisk is not going to tolerate this from anyone else.
Yeah, the way that he was talking to Fisk, all we got from Fisk is, I'm not your fucking employee. You know, we didn't get anybody else would have been beaten to a pulp.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so whoever Mr. Charles is, he works for a very powerful person.
Yeah. Powerful enough that he could talk to Fisk like that and live.
Yeah.
His goons didn't, but neither one of them was going to harm him.
Right. Another scene.
When Buck put that gun on him, he was cool as a cucumber.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, he was just still more shocked that, oh, shit, my goons are dead.
He's like, man, my goons are dead. And he looks back at Buck and he's got the red laser on him or whatever. He's just like,
oh, yeah.
You're not going to do shit with that.
Right.
You
know? Great scene. I mean, it was still a really, really cool scene, though. I really just need to see more of Mr. Charles. I need the shoe to drop on him, or at least something else.
Something, yeah.
The Vanessa scene where she goes and meets with Governor McCaffrey. This is also an interesting scene.
Yeah, this was this was politically dirty, right? This was like the backroom politics.
Yep.
But I enjoyed it. You know, it was really her kind of coming up, you know, and kind of seeing what Vanessa's role here really is. She's not just there to look pretty at dinner. The governor even kind of alludes to that you know, she had her own empire without Fisk.
Yep.
She was running things while he was gone. I think the governor might be a little crooked, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but they're a governor, so
right. Yeah. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Shocker. But you know, she's definitely like trying to say like, well, I could never support this, but with you there, I could. Well, as we see at the end of this episode, that's changed.
Yeah. I also really like that they call this the Safer Streets Initiative or whatever.
Yeah.
I love that because whenever there's a dirty as fuck thing that's being put in place, they always give it like the most uplifting name, you know.
Yeah.
And like this just falls right in line with the rest of it.
Every time, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Such a patriotic act.
The Safer Streets Initiative, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
They're gonna make New York great again.
Oh, Fisk needs his own brand of clothing, like maybe a hat or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, now that he's thoroughly won this boxing match, maybe you can be like Fists of Fisk. You know?
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, we'll go back to the boxing match here. So as Fisk is beating the ever-loving shit out of Matterhorn, which I'm going to come back to this, intertwined with that, we see Buck kill Christoffy.
Yeah.
Again, was the first mate of the Northern Star.
When they went to go hand him the mouth guard, and he was like, he's never going to touch me. It's not a problem. I was like, is this about to be some Floyd Mayweather shit where like the fight's like staged and like the dude's just going to throw the fight? No.
Definitely none of that. How exactly did Buck know where this informant was going to be? Where Christoffy was going to be?
Well, I think either, you know, finding out where those marshals are going to be, maybe That's the Mr. Charles connection.
Could be.
Because,
I wish they would have dropped a line about that.
And they may in the future.
Yeah.
Because we know that he's tied up with Madam Hydra. Mm-hmm. And she's the only person in anybody's orbit that should have that kind of pull.
Yeah.
To know where these marshals are going to be deployed to.
Right. Yeah, because I've seen this episode twice, and that's just the one thing that's kind of been stumping me is how in the hell did he know where Christopher Lee was going to be? How did he know that these marshals were rolling in at this spot at this time? Somebody dropped a dime, and I think that this show is too clever to just roll past that, so I'm hoping in the next couple of episodes we'll get some definitive.
That just gave me a crazy idea. What if Kirsten's a mole?
Oh,
like what if the whole thing where that big performative thing where the Chill agents came in and like ransacked her office? What if that's all just for show?
And when she asked Karen, "Where's Matt?"
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. What if Kirsten is
That would be crazy.
Is the leak?
That would be crazy. But then the only thing I would say, because that is a good theory, the only reason why I can't get behind it is because when Daredevil asked her, where did you meet Duquesne? And she gave him those instructions.
She certainly would have fed that back.
Absolutely.
They did not want
and they would have sent way more people.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. Mm-hmm. That's the only way it doesn't work out. But that is what it made me think when you were like, how did they know? I was like, man, it would be crazy if she was the mole or whatever.
That would be nuts.
That would be wild.
Yeah. But man, I mean, if there is a mole for the Resistance, I can't think of who else.
Who else it could be?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's wild. But hopefully we'll see in the next couple of episodes. But in the meantime, poor Matterhorn is having a terrible day. He had a record of 32-2.
Yeah.
I don't know if those 32 were against school children.
Well, they weren't against Wilson Fisk.
Absolutely not.
Obviously, though, they're in two very different weight classes.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, Matterhorn looked like he might have been like a light heavyweight,
Yeah.
And Fisk is like...
weighed in at 325.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he should have been fighting Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Like in his prime.
Yeah.
Ken Shamrock.
Right. Something about watching boxing in movies versus watching actual professional fighting, that's always interesting, right? I do love to watch professional fights. I'm not one of those diehards when I watch like a movie that has boxing in it and I start critiquing it like that. I love actually boxing movies and fighting movies.
Yeah.
And I'm very aware that it is hyper accentuated, to make the fights more stylized and whatnot. And for a lot of fight advocate, it bugs them. It doesn't bug me because they're doing it to tell a story, and especially here in this scenario, Fisk is not a normal person. The thing that does always get me about movies that have professional fights in them, including this episode of Born Again, is these are just some awful referees.
Yes.
Like if you see a motherfucker get hit that hard by a man that big, you're calling this match like the first 20 seconds. You're like, I'm waving it.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I can only assume this referee was on Fisk's payroll.
Had to have been. And what did this guy do?
Yeah,
he
dared accept the challenge.
I guess. And he only got maybe one good hit in on Fisk.
Was the only one.
And this dude is lucky that Bullseye showed up, because if he hadn't, man, Fisk probably would have just still been hitting him. He might be dead.
Well, they carried him up on the stretcher.
Yeah.
And the only time he got hit was when Vanessa walked into the building.
Yeah. And
Fisk saw her, and Lady in Red started playing in his head. I made that part up. But no, then he got hit one good time by Madison, and Fisk had this look on his face that said, "How dare you hit me in a boxing match?"
Yeah, he really did. I'm the mayor.
Yeah,
you can't hit me.
And then that's when he just damn near murders this guy.
Yeah,
with it's like a right hook to the body and then a left cross.
the way that they shot that right hook to the body, man, it looked like he hit this side of his ribs and it fractured and destroyed the other side of the ribs.
It looked nuts. Like, I thought that was going to be just a kill shot, which he probably would have been had he not hit him again, even.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. But yeah.
He's definitely got, if he's alive, he's going to be in hospital for a long time.
A long, long time. And I don't know if it's going to pay that medical bill.
No, definitely not, yeah.
Well, as he is celebrating, Vanessa gets in the ring with him. And, of course, she wants the PR moment for the optic. So she says, kiss me. As Fisk is trying to explain to her why he didn't want her there.
Yeah, like, I don't want you here because I know this crazy motherfucker's coming here to kill me.
Yeah.
And there's going to probably also be a second crazy motherfucker.
Yeah. A slightly less crazy one.
Yeah,
will show up as well. And if that's what Fisk was thinking, he was right because Bullseye shows up on some Bullseye shit.
Yeah.
And he does go for Fisk, but he does get slightly he gets shot in the side just a little bit, gets grazed, and it's enough to throw his aim off there. So he missed Fisk with the object. Now we don't exactly see the aftermath of it yet, but at this moment, Daredevil swoops in and saves his crazy ass.
Yeah.
And they both are able to make an escape and get away from the anti-vigilante task force. And as they are scuttling away, Fisk looks back to Vanessa, who has this look of shock on her face. The camera pans over and we see that there is a shard of glass inserted in the side of her head.
Yep, right in the temple.
Yeah. There's a lot of blood coming down as well.
So let me ask you, do you think... obviously, I think for the show, it would be a not the good kind of twist for her to live at this point. Mm-hmm. I think she's got to be gone.
I want to say that she is. However, I can see them keeping her alive. And the reason for that is because whether she lives from this or whether she dies from this, we are still going to get a different kind of Fisk.
Yeah. I mean, and he's going to amp up the rhetoric way higher against the vigilantes now. Mm-hmm. One of them killed my wife or tried to kill her or whatever.
Absolutely. And it makes it even harder to deny that Bullseye and Daredevil are working together. I mean, it looks like they're in cahoots.
Absolutely. Because he saved him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And kept Fisk from killing him, too.
Yep.
Yeah. I got to tell you, this made me think about something. I have a friend of mine, and they're not, like, super interested in Daredevil, but they really like Jessica Jones.
Okay.
And so their partner is constantly, like, telling them, oh, you got to watch Born Again with me. Jessica Jones is going to be in it. And then he says this to her, like, every week, and then Jessica Jones doesn't show up. And it just, the longer it goes, the funnier it gets.
That's great.
What do you think is going to happen next episode? Because obviously we are going to see some escalation here.
Boy, this is so difficult to say because, as you said earlier, a lot of it does depend on whether or not Vanessa lives or dies. Vanessa. Here's my thing, right? If Vanessa did die, then wouldn't we see her definitive death at the end of this episode? Or do you think that it's more effective to save her definitive death for the beginning of the next?
I think we'll find out for sure. I mean, honestly, it's going to depend on how big that piece of glass was.
Yeah. But I think, again, narratively speaking, I think it makes for a way more compelling story if she dies, because then we don't just get like a barbarian rage Fisk, we get like a permanently raged, like super seedy, super comic book Fisk then.
Yeah. Like
the Fisk who has nothing to lose anymore.
Right.
And that's the scariest Fisk.
Yeah, I think that a Fisk in that situation will get reckless. Mm-hmm. he will fuck with Mr. Charles. He doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
He will push for Matt and Vigilantes to be executed, or they'll just start to disappear permanently to the bottom of the river, you know.
He'll burn bridges.
He will. I mean, we have seen what his temper will do to him, you know. And there's no way if she dies that he can uphold this facade that he's constantly put on since he became the mayor.
Yeah. Absolutely not. But as far as next episode goes, I will say if not episode 5, then I think episode 6 we see Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of the next 2 episodes.
What do you think her role here is going to be? They're going to hire her to find somebody?
How low of a profile has she kept over the years, I guess is the question.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It can't have been that low. She got to make money.
Yeah. You know, it's also interesting, and maybe this is a mild spoiler, but it was in the commercial they released a couple days ago. The commercial for Born Again. But she dropped something that was kind of a bombshell. She said something along the lines of, "I have a kid."
Oh.
Which makes me think that, yeah, over the years, her and Luke,
yeah,
they finally got it together, which definitely makes things interesting. So that would be cool as hell too.
Yeah.
So we've got to see Jessica at some point. I'm hoping it's next episode. I think next episode is really going to be the heroes trying to pick up the pieces, because as soon as they were gaining momentum, shit hit the fan. They lost Christophe.
Yep.
They have this terrible PR now with Daredevil. I mean, so right now the only upside they have is BB has that SD card.
Yeah, and I mean, she's gonna have to bide her time, I think, to release that.
Yeah.
She can't really do it in the middle of all of this shit happening.
Oh yeah, and even with this, the sympathy that Fisk is gonna get.
If Vanessa's dead, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think narratively she should be.
Yeah.
I feel like it is a cop out to end the episode exactly the way they did in her live.
Mm-hmm.
I could see if maybe she's in the ICU or something at a bare minimum.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I'll tell you what, I would even give them a little bit of a break if she's in like the ICU for an episode or 2 and then she dies. If they need to buy time before we get full blinding rage Fisk.
Yeah.
You know?
If he's like trying to keep it together for her and then she dies eventually, that would be even crazier, you know. You see the cracks start to form and then, you know, she finally passes. Or, you know, fucking even worse, what if Bullseye shows up and finishes the job?
Oh my gosh.
You know?
To draw Fisk out.
Yeah.
Holy shit. If I were Matt, I'd be like, I'm not saving you this time, dog.
Yeah, dog. Like, I ain't having nothing to do with this. Yeah. Yeah, this is between y'all at this point. I'm not really worried about him killing you. It doesn't. Yeah. That ain't got shit to do with me.
Yeah. And, you know, at this point, I don't care who kills who, actually.
Yeah. But it's going to be you at this point.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I mean,
the dude already cracked your back in half.
Exactly. He already broke your back. Like, shit's not going to be sweet for you.
Yeah, they didn't shot him in the head. You're going to have to drop him in some lava or something.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's going to be nuts, though, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next. I think it's going to be some really cool moments. I can't wait to see exactly how things ramp up. And I'm really curious to see how this thing ends. Like you said earlier, we know that Fisk won't be mayor by the end of this thing.
Yeah.
And to see that kind of downfall, I definitely think it would be, yes, because of the efforts of our heroes, but also because Fisk is going to he's going to snap.
Yeah.
So.
Agreed.
And also there's the Mr. Charles things as well. Like, we got to see the other shoe drop with that.
And they may be seeding what's going to happen in season 3 with him.
He
may be the harbinger of something much bigger.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously, the hand would make sense since they're in the Brand New Day trailer.
Yeah.
You know.
What?
But, Yeah, I believe it's your turn to go first on scoring this thing.
I think you're right. This was one of my favorite episodes of Born Again.
Born Again.
Born Again. Yep. As a matter of fact, this is my favorite episode of season 2 so far. This has pretty much everything that I like to see in this type of show. It has phenomenal pacing, tremendous action. It has a different start than the previous episodes because we start with the POV of Dex and him living his normal good guy life. We get to see some really, really cool action scenes here. We get to see the plot being pushed forward. We get some stakes that are even higher now. And by the time this thing is done, it doesn't feel like a 53-minute episode. And that's just because it's so good and it's paced so well. There's very few minor critiques I have about this episode. I was very tempted to give it a 10. The only reason that I'm not is because the highs, while they were really high, they weren't quite high enough for me to give it that kind of prestigious honor. But I will give it a 9.7 out of 10. I think that this was a tremendous episode. Like I said, it's amongst my favorite episodes of the series.
Very nice. Honestly, man, you kind of said everything I wanted to say. And I'm not trying to one-up you, but the score I had in my head was a 9.8. Oh. So I agree, man. I think that this is kind of the quintessential Daredevil episode, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we get some really interesting stuff with Bullseye. We get some great action scenes, some displays of his powers. We get to see Matt using a plethora of his powers because it's very easy for these shows to get caught up in the Matt can beat the shit out of you.
Yep.
And not, focus on like his use of his abilities or his detective skills, and or his lawyer skills, and really just the that sort of fighting spirit, the heart of who Matt Murdock really is, at the core of all of that. All those things are very important parts of Daredevil. The fact that he can beat the shit out of you is just an addition to that. It's a very important part, and it's flashy. But showing all of those things those are all big aspects of the character. And then you also have all your side characters. I mean, Angela, Karen, BB, Daniel, Buck, Fisk, Mr. Charles. All of them get good dialogue here. They get time to shine in this episode, and it's all relevant to the plot. This is like the opposite of a filler episode. This is like if you go to the bathroom to pee, you better pause that shit.
Yes.
Because you're gonna miss something great. And that's like what good TV is, So yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna go with a 9.8 on this one. It was stellar. If the rest of the season is even nearly this good, we are in for a really special episode of television or season of television.
Wholeheartedly agree, man. I had such a blast with this episode. And I'm so grateful that this is the first week of our Born Again review that I had time to watch it twice and take notes. All the other ones I just haven't had the time, but thankfully for this one I did.
Yeah, I had only seen it last night, but it was like the last thing I did before I went to bed. And, I'll tell you, it was, I was just, there were several holy shit moments in this one. But we got a lot coming up, man. We got Invincible. We got The Boys. I have only seen a little bit of The Boys. I haven't seen Invincible.
The latest episode, at least.
Yeah. I've seen the first 5 hours. We reviewed those.
The ones that we reviewed.
Check that review out. But, yeah, man, it's going to be pretty interesting. I'll talk about this with you off mic, but I got a comic spoiler for Invincible. Just randomly on Reddit, somebody didn't have the shit tagged.
Man.
And we'll have to talk about it. So stay off the internets, man. Let me tell you, the reason I went ahead and tried to start watching The Boys today is I didn't click it, so I didn't get spoiled. But fucking IGN just randomly was like, this such and such on The Boys. I was like, what the fuck? And it didn't give it away, but it let me know that this thing, something like this happened. And I was just like, come on, man. This shit's only been on the internet for like 2 hours.
Right. I hate that. I can't stand that.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, with all that being said, homies, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode of Superhero Homies, where we reviewed the latest episode of Daredevil. Born Again. Yeah. Again, great one. Gloves Off is a tremendous episode, which is very ironic because the gloves stayed on. If they were off, then that poor guy would have been dead.
For sure.
Yeah. Good old Matterhorn. May he recover well. Matterhorn's been taken to the hospital. There's only one room left, but then he gets pushed out, and they put Vanessa in there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But we have so much coming down the pipeline for you guys. Like Caleb said, everything he mentioned and then some. The months of April, May, and honestly even June are going to be pretty packed with a lot of cool content. It's going to keep us busy, but man, I can't wait for it.
Absolutely.
But that would be all for now. We will see you guys again next time. But until then, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
I'm Superhero Homie Caleb.